All right. Joining us now on Radio Exposed is Edmond Klotz from Freeform Radio, WZRD in Chicago. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going? Tell us about WZRD.
Well, WZRD's been around for since 1974, and is a student-run radio station, and it's free-form. And it's a radio station that provides a service for the community that the normal radio station, like a Q101 here in Chicago, or the other stations like XRT, would never give their community listener. Whereas WZRD will broadcast out of the box programming, and then give the listener more of a chance to get into the artists that they like or want to hear more of.
That's kind of like where we fall in too. Like I've been, over the last 7 years, sending my demos out to different radio stations, and they don't take silly talk radio. I'd love to find just a freeform type, like, hey, play me for no reason whatsoever.
Right, and that's the way we see it. Is that if someone wants to come in and say, hey, you're a radio station, you're a guy who knows how to do radio, or someone who's interesting says, hey, I've got this band, I got this show, and I want to give it a shot. We'll bring you on in and say, hey, here's what they offer. Go to radioexposed.com, which is, or not .net, which your spot is, and you can find them there. That's what we'd like to do. We like to bring people in the community to hear what else is going out there.
So tell us about some of the interviews you've done. You've got quite a resume here.
Yeah, I've had the chance in the last, since 2007, to be at music festivals. I had a chance to interview, My Morning Jacket was the first big interview I had, and I had the Wailers. But the biggest interview I happened to get was Les Claypool of Primus, and sitting there with Les Claypool, playing bass right in front of me, not even 5 feet away, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm with someone who just knows his instrument and knows how to handle himself as a musician.
I'll bet that'd be quite an honor for us.
And he's sitting there telling me stories about Tom Waits and working with Tom Waits and working on other projects. He had just completed his last solo record at the time, and it was on tour. And he had come to Chicago to play the Rib with the Oddity Fair. And I was just blown away that he would sit down and talk with me.
That is awesome. How'd you go about landing that interview?
I actually contacted his business. His original manager is David Menkowitz, I believe his name is, and he basically told me he's no longer he's only on the business side and doesn't do his stuff, but he directed me into his record label, and the person, I got in contact with someone and said, she's like, well, do you want to do an interview, or do you want to do an interview with an in-studio performance? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do the in-studio performance, It's going to be one of those things that's once-in-a-lifetime thing. And I just went for it.
Quick question for you, Edmond. I'm reading up on WZRD. There's a lot on there about the anonymous DJs, how, you're collectively the wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me how that works? Because that's something that I don't think is probably familiar to a lot of people who, know that if they tune into, Q101 was the example, they know that they're going to hear, a certain DJ from, midday. They're going to have the same DJ is going to be with them from 10 to 2. They're going to have somebody else, on their ride home. How exactly does that work?
Well, at the station we believe that the DJ is not the person. It's not supposed to be it's supposed to be about the music, and it's supposed to be about the entertainment value that you're getting. Like the song that you're, say it's a long song, you want that artist to be the one that's recognized. You don't want to be cutting in and saying, this is Edmond Klotz, saying, you're listening to WZRD, or you're saying your name. We want to be a collective. We want the music. We want the free-form programming to be taken hold and have that be your signature as a DJ. People, I get calls, people call me when I do my show and say, you're doing a great job, can I get the song? And I get the same people because they know what type of music once in a while they know the station, but they also know what type of music I'm going to be playing. And so they call me up and ask me, can I get the song on the air? And 9 times out of 10, I will get that song on the air.
All right, real quick, go ahead, Louis.
That's okay. No, that's cool. That's a perfect summary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you are currently in school right now, so like you're still trying to get your internship and all that stuff. How's that looking right now?
It's not looking good because I got a callback interview from Q101/The Loop 97.9. And they brought me in for an internship for the promotion side, and which was the only internship they were offering. I got a call back. I had an interview, and the interview went well. And then, they're like, well, we have our big concert Christmas thing, Twisted. I don't know what number Twisted year they're on, but that was the concert. It was 5 nights. And they said, oh, yeah, when it's over, I'll give you a call back. And, 5 nights went by, and they said a call. He never called. And, a week went by, and 2 weeks went by, and I never heard. And so, and I haven't heard back from anyone else I've applied to. So it is what it is, If I happen to, something happens and I get a call, I'll be happy. But, at this point, it's not going too well.
I can tell you with my own, I had my internship with The Loop in 2003, and we started in May, I want to say. So, if you're looking for a summer internship, you're on the early list, because, when it comes to, the summer internships, the Illinois Center for Broadcasting and the Columbia people really don't start their programs till, April. So they're going to want to hear from them first, but you're going to be probably on the early list. They have, I want to say we had 15 interns going on for 2003 summer. So, hang in there. and Louis had his with KISS.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
The only tips I can give you, definitely, the biggest thing is follow up. Follow up as many times as it takes. And make sure that you know, I don't know, most cases I'm sure you do know exactly who it is that, you've sent your information to. But I know, when I first started, a couple of them were going out to, the promotions department or, the traffic department. Find out exactly who it is that's going to make the decision and touch base with them. Because they just get, I know when I was doing the internships at KISS, they probably had between 20 and 25 of us interning at one time. And they just had a stack of resumes, and they'd look, toss them aside. But while I was there, I even put in a word for a friend. I said, do you have a resume submitted for her? No, I don't know. It might be in the pile. I'm like, I'll take a look. She'd be good. And so follow up, and if you've got an in, definitely use it, because just bringing your name to the front is going to get you a little more attention, probably get you in. But you are early, so I'm sure you're probably in okay shape anyway.
All right, the meeting, I was expecting the call back and say, hey man, this is and call back and say, hey, well, this is what's going on, we went with someone else. And the other thing that struck me is as I'm walking out, he's like, yeah, I've hired 7 people already, and there's only 10 spots. And I'm like, oh man, I I have to fight with 3 other people, and he's like, I still have interviews to conduct, and so I guess he went his way. But if I can, what do you guys suggest that I put in another, resume redo and just say, hey, shoot my name to the top of the list again?
Sure. And call too.
People can't hurt, I mean, the biggest thing is the call, because the biggest thing that you can do as an intern is just show up when you're supposed to. So, I mean, anybody that they hear from more than once, they figure that you've at least got the diligence to, if you've got enough diligence to follow up on sending in a resume, then chances are you're somebody that's actually going to show up, and you would be shocked at how many people land an internship by, blind luck and don't show up. I mean, I did actually see wash out, which is really, really pathetic, but it does happen more. I mean, it's like any other job, people that are really gung-ho to get in in the first place, and then they realize that there's not a lot of glory to an internship and suddenly aren't as interested as they should be. So just be persistent.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's great advice, because I don't really know how to go about, say, as I thought the internship model was, you wait until you hear back from them, and then you don't really bug them until they, it was sort of like an unwritten code that you don't, necessarily go in and demand, you don't demand the spot, but you want to give the people time to, go through their process.
I would say
you don't need to be demanding.
Go ahead.
You don't need to be demanding. Just but and I don't think following up isn't overly intrusive. Just did you get a chance to see me? I'm really eager to get in. I'm really interested to see how things work. So, you can definitely follow up without being a pest. You can follow up. Just treat it like it's a job, that you want, because people do that too, and it may be an unwritten rule, about that too. But I've been in situations through former jobs, or actually doing recruiting and trying to fill jobs, and if you've got a stack of 30 people and you're looking at 5 spots and you flip through them and they're pretty much all the same, everybody's got essentially the same qualifications, and you hear from some of those people multiple times. Just by nature, you just end up putting those people towards when all things are equal. Well, this guy, I did hear from. Okay, yeah, I know this. Yeah, I remember this guy. This was a guy that called. I talked to him. It can't hurt. It really can't hurt. Nobody's gonna. All right, what? This guy called me to follow. No, he's done. That'll never happen. It definitely can't hurt. Probably will help.
All right. Yeah, that's valuable information and valuable advice.
And make sure your driving record's good.
You're
going to be driving a big vehicle.
Big vehicle.
That was my favorite thing about the internship, was driving the Hummer for the loop.
The Hummer? There's a Hummer?
They're used to, I don't know if they still have the Hummer, because I know a lot of radio stations are going to more of the smaller vehicles for the gas mileage. But, yeah, I drove an H2 for the loop. They had an H2 and they had a Blazer.
Wow, an H2, man. That must have been a beast.
Oh, it was fun. And getting it down the hand, because it was in the Hancock then. Like, now they're in they're merchandise part. But they were in the Hancock. You had to go down that spiral in a Hummer. And it is about the size of a Hummer. So it was quite a deal. Like, once you got to, like, the beginning part of the internship, you're like, pins and needles, like your knuckles are white from, like, okay, I'm so nervous driving this thing, and then later on the interns were having races up the spiral. Like, after about 2 months worth of driving this thing. Now it's like, I got up that thing in 15 seconds. See how you do now. Yeah. All right. I'll do that on the next internship job.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So yeah, we hope all goes well with the loop. It's definitely a good experience for me, and I know the KISS FM was a good experience for Louie. So yeah, much luck to you, and have fun with the WZRD in Freeform, and hope we get the interviews that you're getting, because hell,
it's it's the way, you know, like today I actually, you know, just by luck happened to get an interview with an up-and-coming punk band named the Screaming Females. And, you know, they called me, they emailed me. I had emailed them back in December because they were coming into town to play a show for this small little festival called Tomorrow Never Knows, which is happening all over in Chubas and Lincoln Hall and the Metro. And I'm thinking, I never heard back from them until, like, on Wednesday. Like, oh, yeah, we would love to come in and do this interview. I'm like, all right, you know. And they came in and, you know, shot the breeze and, you know, and talked about music and all this other stuff. I mean, the way I see it with you guys and wanting to do interviews with artists is just, I mean, go to the website, approach them, and see if what they want to do, you know, because majority of the time is what I get to do is I get to offer them free airtime, you know, and that's like key for them because they enjoy the fact that they're being able to promote whatever they want to promote.
All right.
Now, Edmond, where can anybody that wants to find out more about WZRD check you guys out?
Well, you can go to www.wzrdchicago.org is the station's website, and that has, you know, information about our programming and our you know, hours that we broadcast. You know, and then if you're on the northwest side of Chicago, by, you know, coming off of Mannheim Road onto the Kennedy, you can get the station pretty clearly up in the Evanston, you know, Skokie area, and you know that's, you know, it's pretty much we're lucky because the station has such a great location that we actually get to go farther than any other college station in the area. We actually have like it can be up to 2 million listenership. It's usually not that much, but it can go up to that high.